guys, my name is Megan and today I've got my May wrap up for you. Alright, so I got through 10 books this month and oh my god, I'm so happy. And I don't even care that 5 of them were short stories because 10 books. 10 books. Alright, so let's go ahead and just dive into everything that I read this month. So the first batch were all short stories on my Kindle and like novellas and short stories, and I loved them all to pieces. All set in the same universe, the Tarot Sequence books, because I was reading them in anticipation of book 3 coming out in May, which we'll talk about that in a minute. The first book that I read this month was The Sunken Mall. This was a reread for me. This one got a solid 4 to 5 stars. If you guys have read the Tarot Sequence, read all the short stories because they add so much depth to the universe. And of course, The Sunken Mall was one of my favorites. It's still a solid 4 out of 5 stars. Next up, I read The Separation, which is a little tiny story, or is that before the books started. It's just a little tiny snippet of Baby Rune and Baby Brand, and it's adorable. It also got a 4 out of 5 stars. So next up, I read the Tarot Sequence Scenes from Quarantine. So this one was also a reread for me. This one was probably my favorite of all of the short stories because I remember reading this at the beginning of quarantine when it first came out, and it hit home in a lot of ways. There was a lot of anxiety written into it, and this one got a solid 5 out of 5 stars. It's my favorite of the short stories by far. Next up was the Tarot Sequence Scenes from the Holidays, which was so cute, and I loved seeing the whole gang at the holidays and just having a good time and bonding together as a new family, and this one also got a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read the Great Atlantean Battle Royale Alchemy. This one was really interesting because it did lead straight into book 3. It's got some interesting plot points, and like you can see where all of the little plot threads like connect to everything else. It was really good. This one got a 4 out of 5 stars as well. Okay, and then I read one of my manga for this month, which was I Hear the Sunspot. This was so good. I really enjoyed the story of these two meeting and becoming friends against all of the odds that are kind of stacked against them. With Kyohei being hard of hearing and Taichi being very high-strung and just like in your face about things and very emotional and just very talkative. I really did enjoy this. I think the only drawback that I found with this book was that there was a lot of ableism thrown into this that I felt like could have been dealt with a lot better. But I really enjoyed this, and it was just a lovely read. And I can't wait to get my hands on book 2. This got a solid 4 to 5 stars. Okay, next up I have Under the Whispering Door. This was a really good read, and I can totally see why people are very polarized on this, especially if you went into this thinking it was going to be like House in the Cerulean Sea, because it's very much not. We start off with Wallace, who is a very unlikable character, and the pacing is really slow, but it also gives you time to sink into the story and just meld with it, and it's just a really interesting story. I did end up really liking it. There were a couple of things that I thought could have been better, but I really got all up in my feels about this book because it deals with some heavier topics, but in a way that doesn't feel unkind or, you know, put there just because. This got a 4.5 out of 5 stars from me. I would highly recommend giving this one a try, because it's so different from House in the Cerulean Sea or even Wolf's Song or any of T.J. Klune's other works. This has been my most anticipated book of the year, and that was The Hourglass Throne. This is the most emotionally devastating book that I've read this year, actually in a while. This one really had me ugly crying, and I'm just not okay after finishing this. Like, as of filming this video, I finished it the day before I'm filming this, so whew. This book really got me, and I just, like, I ugly cried, and it was not pretty. I don't even have a full proper review for this on my Goodreads because I didn't have the words other than emotionally devastating, and this is the best book of the year. My best book of the year. Hands down. No contest. Best book of the year. 5 out of 5 stars. Would highly recommend reading the Tarot Sequence because it's amazing, and each book keeps getting better and better, and they just build off of each other, and there's just so much that went into this one, and yeah. Alright, and then as of filming this video, I am currently reading On the Ice, which is fantastic, and it's a hockey romance, and I love it, and I love these two, and this is one that has on-page demisexual representation, and I'm here for it, and I love it. I think I'm 85% done with it, and I'll probably finish it either the day I'm filming this or the day after. So far, it's sitting at a solid 4.5, 5 stars. It's so good. Would highly, highly recommend. The other book that I'm currently reading as of filming of this video is Therapy Game Volume 2, because I just couldn't help myself. It came in and I couldn't help myself at all. It's so good so far, and I literally started it like not that long ago, and it's already adorable, and I love Minato and Shizuma, and I love that we're getting right back into it right after the cliffhanger of book 1, and I love it so far. Alright, so those are all of the books that I've read in May. My favorite book by far, has got to be The Hourglass Throne, because it was fantastic, and I sobbed my eyes out. What did you guys read this month? Did you guys have a favorite video? Let me know down below. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't already but would like to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media for more bookish stuff, check out the links down below. Alrighty, bye guys.